Good evening and welcome to Resource PNG. This week we take a closer look at several LNG projects which are currently being developed. Minister for Petroleum and Energy, Nixon Duban, provides an overview on progress on the Stanley Gas Project as well as that of the Elk Antelope Project.
The Minister for Petroleum and Energy, in an exclusive interview with Resource PNG, gave updates of the Stanley Gas Project in Western Province, the Elk Antelope Project and the current progress review of the petroleum licenses for petroleum and gas projects in the country. Recently this year, the Papua New Guinea government formally awarded a production licence, PDL-10, and pipeline licence, PL-10, to Horizon Oil Limited for the development of the Stanley Gas Project development in the Western Province. The grant of the licenses enables commencement of development activities, including the drilling of the Stanley 3 and Stanley 5 development wells, site preparation and facilities construction. The Stanley field is 40 kilometres north of Kiunga in Papua New Guinea's Western Province. It will be developed by a joint venture comprising Horizon, Talisman Energy Inc., Osaka Gas Co. Limited and Mitsubishi Corp.
The company who will be operating the project, we have at the moment an issue between two competing interests in the project. Horizon Oil and Talisman are having loggerheads as to who should be the operator. And giving the department a hard time trying to analyze why Horizon or Talisman should be the operator, although they have a commercial joint operating agreements. I think once they sort it out, which I believe the department have taken a position already, those issues will be realized. But as any other project in the country that we've seen, construction pace is a period where a lot of opportunities will be available in terms of landowner participation, and they would require seed capital, which in this case the business development grant is about 120 million. That fund will be spread into various groupings, and it will not be packed in one group. There are classifications that we have already identified for the funds to be distributed, and that will allow them to, it is about, after the development forum, it's more about the landowner and the operator defining the boundaries of their participation in a separate forum. And I think the companies have undertaken that, and so it's more how the landowners organize themselves and in which area they want to participate. There is a demarcation for the landowners. Like if there is construction for roads or building, for catering, security services, or construction, the landowners will be given preferences to participate. They need to organize themselves. There is a commitment for seed capital that has already been made by the national government. They must, the leaders of the province must take some steps in assisting the people by dealing directly with the Department of Commerce and Industry. The government must also ensure that our people in Western Province are able to be properly represented by the landowner groups. So it's more at the people's level now to take control of the next step. Commitments by national government to Department of Petroleum and Energy have all been already been complied. We have given our best shot. We've made those fundings commitment by way of NDC decision. To access the funds, the departments who are mandated have been informed, and it's now in the interest of both Department of Petroleum and Energy, Treasury, Commerce and Industry to collaborate and ensure that people start receiving those benefits in order for them to participate under the national content.
Thank you, Minister. Are you aware of when the construction phase should take place?
I think it should start immediately. The important requirement is the issuance of the petroleum development license. And that alone is an indication of the project to at least in the operation of the project. That is a milestone, confidence in ensuring that the project must take shape.
You're watching Resource PNG. We'll be right back for more after these messages. Welcome back to Resource PNG. In this segment, we take a closer look at the Elk Antelope LNG project. Located within PRL 15 in the Papuan Basin, this project is projected to contribute significantly to the economy once it comes online. Oil and gas company Total now has the majority stake in this project after acquiring 40.1% from Interoil. Interoil has a 35.5% stake, with Oil Search having a 22.8% stake in this project.
Interoil was awarded a license to develop the Elk and Antelope fields in the Gulf Province fields in November 2010. The license covers 9 blocks surrounding the fields, including Wahoo, about 170 kilometres from Port Moresby. Interoil Corporation is confident that substantial resources will be added to complement its highly prospective Elk and Antelope gas fields in the Gulf Province. Singapore-based company Interoil revealed that about 40 potential targets beyond Elk and Antelope covered by Petroleum Retention License 15 have been identified and now form part of the company's growing exploration program.
I met with Interoil, who owns PRL 15, which houses the Elk Antelope. And Interoil has allowed Total to come in, although there is a issue at the moment on the operatorship. Total and Interoil have begun new partnership. Now there is an issue of a joint operating agreement between Interoil and Oil Search. Now Oil Search felt uncomfortable with the way Interoil has brought in Total, and so that dispute has been brought to an international arbitration in London. And I hear and I've been advised that the arbitration has been concluded as of last month. It will take about 6 months to finalize the decisions. When they finalize the decision, all parties to the arbitration have agreed that they will not dispute the final outcome, meaning that if the arbitration recognizes Total as the operator, it will all be accepted. Likewise, if the arbitration is of the view that Oil Search should be the operator, then that will be the final outcome. What we are telling them is that PRL 15 will expire in November 2015. It is in the interest of the national government that the arbitration must not be prolonged, although it has come 90% or 100% complete. We are of the view that they must now take some more proactive steps in ensuring that the drillings that they have undertaken are completed, and they must announce in order for the PDL to be considered. And I'm sure all the parties to the project are aware that as a result of the PNG LNG project and the huge economic gain arising out of the construction during the PNG LNG project, we now have an issue of accommodating the gaps that have been created as a result of production now taking precedence. And we need to have that project on board because it's a gainful opportunity for Papua New Guinea to be absorbed with the huge gap created as a result of the completion of the construction. So I have spoken to Total, I have spoken to Interoil, and I have spoken to Oil Search. There may be issues of commercial differences between all those parties, but we've encouraged them to work together. In the event that one of the parties are considered for operatorship, they must feel free to work together. Because the government will also have a stake in Elk and Antelope, and that requires a proper working relationship at an earlier stage. We know that the company is focused on 2017 and beyond, but I've asked them to bring forward their work programs. There is no excuse on the part of the parties. We are aware that they have done more drillings, and we will be very serious about renewing the license. And the advantage that the department has is that the department makes a decision to renew licenses, and for elk, there will be conditions on the renewal of the license. One of which we want to know exactly when the project will start. And we want a clear working schedule. We don't want too many excuses on the part of the operator. They must commit now that they will start the project on time. We're also mindful of the economic importance of the project that the nation stands to gain, and we want to ensure that there is a clear-cut, defined schedule of activities that must be presented to the government of Papua New Guinea as to when they will start. You know, the trains of gas that they have sort of hinted to us, whether it's a 3-train or 2-train, we want to be part of the success of those projects. We want to benefit from those, economic gains of those projects. It is important that they must also appreciate the fact that our government wants to see the project coming on board immediately.
Coming up, we have an update on petroleum license reviews. Join us after these messages. Prospecting licenses are an integral part of any resource project within the petroleum and energy sector. However, there have been some concerns raised regarding the holders of these prospecting licenses. According to Minister for Petroleum and Energy, Nixon Duban, the actions of certain companies who hold these prospecting licenses leaves a lot to be desired. He claims some of these licenses are being abused, and he is now taking steps to rectify this. In this final segment, Minister Duban explains measures being taken in regards to reviewing these licenses.
All prospecting licenses for oil and gas in the country are undergoing review, Petroleum and Energy Minister Nixon Duban said recently. Duban said he was taking this critical first step to get rid of unlisted foreign companies that were abusing the country's licensing regime by wholesaling licenses to the highest bidders. He said some of these licenses were used by spectators to raise money for themselves at the disadvantage of Papua New Guinea and its people. Minister Duban has directed the Department of Petroleum and Energy to review all currently held prospecting licenses in the sector, with the firm view to ascertain their status and to verify the ability and seriousness of the license holders over their prospective permit area. He said that he will soon take possession of this review report and seek Cabinet direction on what to do with those permit holders who do not demonstrate capacity and seriousness in developing their permit areas. Minister Duban said that the review is necessary for the government to establish who, among the license holders, is a serious player and who is not.
When I became minister, I quickly studied the department's functions, and I noted that gas licenses that have been issued, also created a lot of opportunities for foreign direct investments, and I also ran into issues of licenses given to companies who may have been warehousing them, and I became concerned. If you look at the period that Prime Minister made the announcement of me taking over from former minister, he also mentioned some issues of reviewing the department's functions. So we quickly embarked on the licensing review. Now, the licensing review is a critical intervention because many licenses that have gone out are not being used at all or have been sold as a result of the incapacity of the current holder. And that has created a greater imbalance on the ability of the government to manage who should really be bidding for those licenses. When you issue a license to somebody who doesn't have the expertise, doesn't have the capacity, doesn't have the financial resources, that has got a lot of implication already. And what they do is that they quickly try to allow those who have the capacity, those who have the financial resources, those who have the expertise to farm in. And so they just free ride or piggy bank on those who are able to do well in the industry but couldn't access those licenses. So there is a greater imbalance as far as I'm concerned in the way that licenses have been issued. So what we are doing now is a very, very stringent review. A lot of our people in the industry will be upset. But for me, it's not about causing any entity to be disappointed. We are more for the compliance. We are more for the industry to be given a new dimension in terms of managing important assets like petroleum licenses. The department must be seen to be in total control. The industry must respect the fact that there are laws in this country and they are duty bound to comply. And there will be no exceptions to those who have been speculating on the stock market and raising funds and not able to do any seismic work. There is not going to be any exceptions to those who have defaulted by not submitting their work programs, their annual reports. There will be no exceptions to those companies. They will lose their licenses. And the licenses will be put before the board. And serious companies who want to come and do business in this country will have to be invited to bid for those licenses. And I have maintained my commitment to ensuring that we do not just give license to friends and our preferred companies. We must look at the merit of those who are bidding also. We must allow an open, level playing field, diversify the participation, allow also, if there are Papua New Guineans who want to own licenses and are ready, they can also do so. If there are companies outside Papua New Guinea who are wishing to come and do business in this country, have the capability, can do more than those who are here, they must also be given opportunities. So that review will be very stringent, and it will create a new dimension in the industry. We are hoping that this is important intervention. Once it's completed from the PPLs, Petroleum Prospective Licenses, we will do the Petroleum Retention Licenses, then we'll do the Petroleum Development Licenses. During this review period, we will not entertain any variations. Now, it's a hard call, but that is the position the department will take. There are outstanding fees that have not been paid. As far as I'm concerned, for the PPL, about 12 million remains outstanding. And you can tell that this is money that must come to Papua New Guinea. It must go into our economic gains that we are missing out. So this is an important exercise. We are not giving preference to anybody to be given an exemption or exception. It's a standard approach. The department will continue to do its work, and the Petroleum Advisory Board will continue to inform those who are in default, and where we feel that they should not continue to hold those licenses, then definitely they're bound to lose them.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of Resource PNG. If you want to know more about the program, please email us. Our address is resourcepng@mtv.com.pg. You can also view this edition online by going to mtv.com.pg, where you will find a link to the Resource PNG page. You can also get in touch with us via our Facebook page. Until the next time, I'm Mary Batulo. Have a pleasant evening.